We need to talk.
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 Welcome back to We Need to Talk, episode number 48. I'm your host, MR.KOA, alongside
Cowboy.
And it is...
Episode 48.
Episode 48. I did say that. Did I say the episode?
No, you didn't.
I didn't say any episode number. I did say episode. Welcome... What? I did.
Oh, whatever.
I just talked really fast. Yeah, it's welcome to episode number 48. Yeah, what the fuck? Anyways, welcome to episode number 48. I'm MR.KOA, alongside...
Cowboy.
Thank you. I did say the episode. Now I'm pissed. We have a guest on the show. When was our last guest? A while ago.
It was a while ago. We've both been very busy.
Well, not even just episode-wise. Like, it's just a while ago in time.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, we haven't been on their episodes every week like we should have. Or like we were, I should say. So we're trying to get back on top of those. But now we have a guest to try and switch things up again, get a new perspective in here. You've never been on the show before?
Well, technically, I was once behind the scenes on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
You've never been...
I've never been
You've
on
never been a
air
guest on the show.
Right.
Gotcha. So now we have...
My name is Marcus Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you guys want me to say?
Plug your socials. Let people know who you are.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm Marcus Brown. Yeah. I am a multidisciplinary creative professional who does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a long list of stuff. But essentially...
What are the top three things you do?
Top three things?
On a daily basis. Top
okay,
three.
I'm an editor.
Okay. For what?
Sorry?
For what?
For
like
video.
Newspaper?
No, video.
Okay. Video.
So I'm a filmmaker.
Okay.
Filmmaker by trade. So
okay.
I edit, so I produce, direct. I run my own studio privately as a freelancer. So that's number one.
Yeah.
I'm a content developer. So I take all the tech stuff, my tech background, and I mix it with all the media stuff to make my clients and people make more sexier than they are to their own clients and their clientele. And the third thing, I'm gonna say I'm old school.
Okay.
So the reason why it's funny is I was talking to a friend about this today.
Are you old school by age or by mentality? Or both?
All of the above.
Okay.
So everything I do creatively, I've been doing since I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a DJ since that age. I've been playing music, and that just translated to a long life of just doing dope things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Me and Marcus knew each other from Apple, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I met him originally.
Cool. So,
Cool. So anyway, the question that we asked this week, it was directed towards the women. And we said, ladies, would you ever propose to your man? Why or why not? And then you can also drop your questions here as well. So wait, before I read some of these responses, because I guarantee you guys can assume how most of them went.
check this. Check the poll.
Oh, there was a poll on
Yeah,
this
put
too.
the poll in.
Okay. It's going to be a landslide.
Of course.
Wow, so 42 people said you're out of your mind, and 9 people said I don't see the problem.
9 people.
9 people. And all of those people, it was one guy. No. It was two guys that said I don't see the problem. Everyone else was women.
Okay.
And
I don't know why guys are answering, but sure.
And literally every other woman said you're out of your mind. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Like, what would you do if, like, a girl proposed to you? Like, you've been dating her for a while, a number of years, and she proposed to you. What's the first thing going through your mind?
I'd be like, dope.
Really?
Listen.
You really would?
I would honestly be, like, hopefully, like, we're hoping, obviously. And this is I think the main problem with this is because what we talked about before in other podcasts is the problem that women don't know how to be rejected, right? And I think that's why a lot of women
they don't know how to deal with rejection.
They don't know how to deal with rejection. And the reason that we talked about this before, talking about like why guys approach women, etc., and not vice versa, because women are used to saying no to guys. They're used to guys just, let's go on a date, give me your number, and they're just no, like they're used to that reaction of just automatically saying no. So that's why they don't ask guys out or ask them on dates, whatever, because if they ask the guy and the guy's like nah, like they don't know how to deal with, or no, like they don't know how to deal with that feeling of like, oh shit, like he doesn't like me. They'd rather stay on the end and wait for someone to come up to them. That way they know for a fact, if you're coming to me, you like me. So I don't lose in the situation, right?
So you're saying that they are saying hell no because they
that fear of let's
rejection.
say they propose to me or a guy and I'm not ready for marriage yet. How do I say nah? You know what I mean?
I have a different take on that,
Which
but
is-
actually
of course.
work. But it ties into what you're
Right?
saying.
So like I feel like if a woman proposed to their man, they're really like gambling. Like I really hope he wants this. Like you know what I mean? But and the guy, in the sense, we're doing the same thing, but not really because we kind of fucking know. We like there's signs, there's parents, there's moms, there's friends, like there's all that people like. So you guys get married, like we've been being pushed and primed into marrying that woman before you finally go. On the flip side, you're not gonna have her boyfriends or fiancés, or not fiancé, boyfriend, his boys being like, "Yo, you marry her? Like you marry him yet?" Like she's not gonna have that confidence to ask to know that he really wants that. It really be out of the fucking blue. It'd be like, I like you a lot. Will you marry me? And the guy's like, whoa, what? But the guy on the flip side is like, I know she wants to get married. It's been this long. She's been looking at rings. She's been doing all this bullshit. So it's kind of like, it's almost like we walked into her like, you want to marry me? Like, oh my God, yeah. Like, we're not surprised. You're going to say yes. Like, you're going to say yes.
So I'm going to take one step back to my intro, and this kind of ties into this as well. So if you guys had asked me what are the 4 things, one of those things that Zamor knows is that I study people. So I guess urban sociologist, whatever you want to call, whatever fancy term.
Like
that's why I went to school. So
you went for school for that?
Yeah. So as a cultural theorist, and one of the biggest theories I've ever actually came across, or one that stuck to me, was this whole idea of marriage and how it affects genders. So, and this blew my mind when I first heard it. So historically, and even now, if you pull your surveys, look at your data, there is this stigma, or there's this idea of the dream wedding for a woman, and it comes from what they're conditioned to be from a little kid. So the idea is that, hey, you know what, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna find your prince, and then when you find your prince, you're gonna get married forever and ever, happy ever after, whatever case may be. And that is something that has been instilled in them at such a young age that literally that's what they look for. And that's why it's interesting how like the results of the poll, because a big part of this theory is that there's a great percentage of, I guess, women, greater than you would think, that when they go through that process of getting married, when they say "I do," they go through the whole process. Buying the dress, getting the rings. You're doing everything that you're living.
You've been watching forever.
You're living the dream to the point where the actual reality becomes a dream. And there has been studies that said that when they actually get to the altar and they say, like the actual "I do," I do. It's almost like they wake up and they literally forget the whole process of buying the ring and buying the dress. Because they get so caught up in the moment of what they it's
the build up,
the dream, this is what makes me a woman, or excuse me, sorry, this is what makes me, whatever the case, whatever goes through their head. Everyone's different. But when they wake up that moment, they literally forget everything and they're like, why am I standing here? So I think it's interesting how a lot of people say hell no, because it actually breaks that tradition of, hey, you know what, the prince is supposed to ask me to marry him. I say yes. We go through the whole hoopla, and then I say I do, and then it's happily ever after. Where I think, to answer your initial question, if somebody had asked, if I'm with somebody for a long time, they asked me to get married, I'd be like, damn, so let's just do this. Like, this is cool. Because,
that's
you're
why
thinking
I
like me. You're thinking a little bit different.
That's why. That's exactly why I'd be down, because I'm like, oh shit, like really?
Yeah.
Like, you're not fucking with me? Like, no, like, will you marry me? I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do this. If I felt that way. But most likely, hopefully, you're hoping you would, because that's the problem. Because I'm saying, whenever, the reason I'm saying it's difficult for that situation, like, I'm just hoping I would feel that way when they ask. But the reason I'm saying it's difficult is because when they decide to ask, they have no cues. So like, I'm really hoping I want to say yes and not be forced into saying yes at that moment.
It goes back to what Marcus was saying as well. Like, what you're saying ties in with what he's saying, because you're as men, we're not conditioned to grow up giving off these cues. Exactly. So it's like, there's no way that
she's gambling. We've been dating for 5 years, and when she's like, I think we're good.
Like,
I think he wants it now.
She's either asking you like gambling, or she's asking because she's tired of waiting. Like, it's I think it's the extreme. Like, she's either because she's gambling, or she's like, you know what, I'm gonna ask this dude because I want to get married, but if he's not gonna ask me, I'm gonna ask him. Right? It's one of those two. I think the reason why so many women in particular were saying like, hell no, I would never ask a man, is because, you know, they a lot of them would consider themselves quote unquote traditional.
Yeah.
Right? They're just like, like a guy is supposed to ask me and all this type of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, like if a girl asked me, like if my girlfriend asked me like years from now, I imagine I'd be thrown off in a good way. Like I'd be like, what? Like I'd be like, are you joking? Are you being serious here? And most likely by that point, like we'd already either had a discussion about getting married or like the next step. So it's not something that would make me go, you know what? Like I don't want to marry you because you asked me. What?
So, how many people do you guys know who got married? Like
who got married?
Who's got married? Yeah,
Many.
I know
many.
Yeah.
How many of those couples has it been where the woman asked the man?
None in my opinion.
So I can only think of one in my home.
None that I actually know.
Oh, where the woman asked the man.
Yeah.
I know none personally.
No, I don't think I know any.
Because it's interesting because I'm thinking about one and who they are. It's actually it's one of the professors who actually taught me and my little gang of creators all that we do. And he actually married one of his students. But she asked him, and it's very interesting because when I think about who they are, they're very progressive, not really traditionalists. They think outside the box.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting because you so how many women? You said 42 women said hell no.
Yeah.
And how many said yes?
Nine.
7
women said nine.
Nine.
Two
okay.
of them guys. Yeah.
So again, I'm not a person who likes to generalize, but if you say just take those numbers and make them a little bit more global, that's a very high percentage to what I think some of the realities may be.
That's like a 90%. That's like 90% of the world believes this certain mentality.
Yeah, like look, so some of the answers, right? DJ
I
Tyler.
read some of the stuff. When he reads some of the stuff, it's like this is literally conditioned in their brain.
Yeah,
that's like it's not allowed. Like it's almost like they're offended.
One thing is funny is I was thinking about conditioning this whole week again based on some work I was doing. There's nothing wrong with conditioning. At the end of the day, every single human being is conditioned,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what growing up is. I think what leads to the conversations and the arguments is that my conditioning may not match your conditioning.
Yes.
Right.
And then that was a matter, okay, well, my right's right and your right is wrong. Or mine is different and mine's normal. Like I think that's really that's why I pull from this conversation, which is very interesting because that should never be the case because we're talking about the thing that I think people shouldn't be arguing over, which is love.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's the right way of that?
Yeah, what's the right way? If a man asks another human being or a woman asks another human being to marry them because they're in love and they want to spend the rest of their lives with each other, like to me that's just crazy how it's subject.
Let me go down first.
Well, this is what's interesting about what you're saying now, and because the world's so PC now and everyone's so sensitive.
Yeah.
This conditioning was only for heterosexuals.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This man asks a woman is only a heterosexual conditioning.
Yes.
So anyone that's gay, this doesn't make sense to them, or matter.
Yeah.
Like if I'm a man asking a man who's, I'm the lesser man, so I have to ask. And maybe I'm not gay, so I don't know, but maybe there is a conditioning even in that. Maybe the softer man becomes the woman and expects the more broad man to ask. Maybe they still do that when they're gay, and vice versa with women. Like maybe the dykish, more manly woman is expected to ask the more feminine woman. I don't know if they. I don't know their dynamic, but maybe that even translates into homosexuals too, where everyone sometimes not always, but sometimes you see there's always a more butch and more softer, and even in gay couples. Right. Yeah. Sometimes they're both the same, but most times I'm not saying most. I don't know, but many cases I've seen there's a more masculine or feminine in both senses, even if they're the same sex. Maybe that conditioning still goes into them, and they still kind of wait for the more masculine person to ask them. I don't know.
And I think that's really what it comes down to. I think it's really an issue of masculinity versus being feminine. Because I know heterosexual couples where the man seems to be more feminine than the woman because the woman is completely alpha. Right. And that's just because that's what they both like and that's what makes that relationship work.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at those situations is that, there's going to be some things that kind of where these traditions get flipped over or flipped around differently. But it's also, I think there are some people who are still stuck in these traditional ways in a time where we need to start thinking a little bit more deeply.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So like, let's read some of the responses. DJ Tyra Monroe, she said, "No, I wouldn't, and simply because I don't want to / feel like it. Also, I'm just more traditional." I'm not surprised by her response because
No,
like
yeah.
I talked to her enough. I know. Lil Tank, she said, "Nah, I wouldn't propose. One, I'm definitely more traditional in that sense. And number two, most men I know would actually get offended if a girl were to propose to them. Not that it's wrong, but it should be a conversation done beforehand to know if your partner is cool with it." So see, it's some of these responses are already aligning with the fact that women don't necessarily like. She didn't want to ask mainly because she doesn't know how the other person is going to react. Like when she's asking the guy, like, because she says there has to be a conversation done beforehand to know if your partner is cool with it, right? So it's like she's saying I should have had a conversation with my male partner at some point in the past to know whether or not he would be okay if I asked him
at any point in time in the future.
And that goes back to the conditioning theory that I was talking about, in the sense that it's almost like that whole. I think they called it the princess theory or something like that, whatever it was. But that whole theory is kind of surrounds the whole idea that the woman's not going to get rejected.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's almost like a very comfortable practice, a very comfortable way of life or approaching things.
That's exactly what we started talking off on the podcast because have you ever like told a woman no and like it could be something sexually related, it could be a woman making an advance on you, like saying, like, do you want to go out sometime? And you're not into it. So you tell them no. Like, you're like, I'm sorry, like, I'm going to pass or like, whatever. You say no. The way that some women react when you tell them no is it's almost as if, like, you have done the worst thing in the world to them. Because they're not used to being told no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of women aren't. So, but you said so on point. Like, they're conditioned to believe that, like, all right, if I ask this dude, like, he's going to say, he has to say yes. He cannot say no to me.
Because I'm asking now.
Once
I'm asking, you have to say yes.
But then also, in fairness, on the flip side, we as men are conditioned to have that fear.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The fear of that she might not say yes.
Like, it's funny. The image I have in my head right now is like every single NBA proposal. Because I'm like, every time I see one,
like at the games,
when they put on the screen, I'm like, it's gonna go down, because it could go down.
Because there's always a chance she could be like, like.
And I remember there was a documentary made on a guy who got rejected, and that always stuck into my head. So that's first of all, it's earth shattering because everything you believed in just fell apart
on a national scale.
Let's
talk about that for a second. As a woman, as much as I respect your rights and your freedoms and everything.
Where you going with this, right?
If your man asks you on a public stage, whether you don't want if you live with him and you guys are talking to each other all the time, and he wants to do something really sweet for you and does something public, which is crazy of him, but he does something very public and very open and spends some money and whatever, and wants something that time to be very special for you for the proposal, and you're not ready for it or you don't want to. You guys are still dating, mind you, right? If someone's asked you to propose, they're still your boyfriend or girlfriend. So you still love him, or you must, hopefully, if you guys are together. So if he proposes to you on a big public stage or a national scale, whatever, don't embarrass your boyfriend. Like, there's no, like, you can, that's a point, because we put our pride aside many times for many situations.
Yes.
Like, many situations where guys just like, okay, yes, babe. You know what I mean? Like, we've done it for many different things. We just do it. Something like that, where most of the people are probably strangers, don't know what the fuck you are, don't know, like, if he's in a game or whatever. The only people who really care or know were your friends or your family. You can deal with that off camera, off stage, be like, you know what? It was in front of people. I said yes, just to keep his heart together. And then we talked about it at home. You can damage control that. It's your family, your friends. Like, you can damage control that.
So I would disagree.
But to embarrass the man for the world to see, just because you're not ready, is nuts.
I'm going to disagree only because I'm highly entertained. No.
Yeah, but okay. For people who want to laugh, for sure. But I'm saying, but when everyone claps and laughs, whatever, and goes home, that man is broken.
But I think at the same time, I'm going to question that man because
how do you not know, kind of thing.
So relationships, whatever type of relationship you're in, if it's romantic, family, business, whatever, it all is surrounded by communication.
Absolutely.
So if a man brings his woman to the game and proposes on screen, and he does not know that she doesn't like that, because I mean, a proposal is really something that's very personal. I think it is. So if to surprise her and share it with tens of thousands of people, that's a very fine line you're crossing right there. So if she's surprised that this could happen, then there's a break in the communication right there. So therefore, if she says no on the screen and it's because of a broken communication, you're kind of gonna get what you deserve.
Sure, but what if she's not saying no because she doesn't necessarily want to? What if she's really just panicked at that moment and says no?
I think that comes down to communication.
Yeah, I see your point. Like, it's still...
Yes. Yeah, only reason I'm saying yes or no is because they could have communicated. She could have wanted to be married. She could have said, yes, I would love to be married and all this kind of stuff, and made hints and cues, and you know how fucking ambiguous girls can be. So maybe they had been communicating, but maybe his interpretation was off, or maybe she has been communicating but didn't mean tomorrow, or did it mean... You know what I mean? Like...
You know what it is though? Like I read something recently on Twitter. Some girl said something about, you should never, basically she said something along the lines of that you should never embarrass like your man publicly. Right?
Or woman, but
and it goes both ways. She said you should never embarrass your partner publicly. My thing about that situation, because I completely understand where you're coming from. I see both sides.
I mean, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm just talking with a guy out there that does that.
I definitely see both sides, right? Like, I'd like to think if I propose to my girl at a game, like halftime, and everyone's watching, like, I need to know for sure that she's going to say yes. And this is gonna sound selfish, not only because I want to marry her, but because I don't want to look like an idiot in front of all these people. Like, I need to know for sure that you're gonna say yes. So you can't embarrass me by saying...
Even say yes and talk to me later and be like, I'm not really ready yet, but, let's take care of that.
So here's a question for you guys. Of all the people you know who have gotten married, how many of them were actually surprised about the proposal?
I'm a wedding photographer, so one of the couples I shot, he proposed like that. His fiance was a Raptors dance back girl, and he proposed to her at halftime at a Raptor game. So
I probably was there for that.
For Coach Blunt?
Yes.
Larry Blunt?
Yes.
So him. So he did that for his wife, current wife Morgan.
Yeah.
She's Raptors dance back, and she was surprised, and everyone else knew, but she didn't know. She said yes, obviously because they're in love, whatever. But that could have went sideways. It could have. Because
the reason I say that, because all the people I've ever who I know who have gotten married, the proposal was not truly a surprise. Like they've had,
they're kind of finally kind of thing.
Or if it's close as I've ever seen it be to surprise, okay, they're going to propose to me sometime soon. I don't know when. I don't know how.
I know it's coming.
It's coming because
How did they know it was coming? Was that based on a conversation?
Because they fucking lead you into it.
There's conversation. There's guys are stupid. I openly admit that guys are dumb. They slip up somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, I was just wondering what's your ring size.
Yeah. Well, I asked my girl her ring size early. So
So I mean,
I can come. You can come tomorrow. I can come in private. I know it now. It's locked in. I'm not gonna ask you every couple of days. What's your ring size? And they get a ring. It ain't gonna be like that.
But I mean, the fact that someone's going to propose to somebody else, it's not really a full out surprise. It's more of a secret than a surprise.
I agree. It's not a surprise because you do need info.
Yeah, exactly.
You need intel.
The fact that I'm asking you info means I want to do something. And so now you're conditioned. You're gonna believe it's gonna come at some point.
Yeah,
you're not ready, but you're like, oh, okay. So he does want this.
Yeah,
you at least know he wants this.
Exactly. So that's it's more of a secret.
Yes.
But when it's actually a true surprise, like the example we talked about,
didn't ask ring size, didn't ask shit.
And we're at a Raptors game, and you know what? Here's
a ring doesn't fit. I just bought it.
Will you marry me in front of 30,000 people? Yeah. I think that's gonna go. That's just a disaster.
Okay.
So more responses. Chronic Daydream. She said that's a strong no. Danny said nope. And if I ever felt I had to, that would be the first and last sign to end the relationship. There are some things a man still needs to do and a woman doesn't. The conditioning thing again. Who's this? Cynical, she says no, negative, because even if you are ready for marriage, the fear of the other person not feeling the same scares me. Some men don't show their emotions, at least not how women do. And if you read the situation wrong, you're in for embarrassment.
And I think it goes back to what we were just saying,
Is this a question she's asking, or I can't even tell? Last person said yes, but no. Yes, because I love him, and it's modern day now. I was the first one to talk to him, so why wouldn't I propose? But at the same time, no, because I've always imagined how I would get proposed to, and if I propose to him, it would ruin my dream. Yo, it's weird. It's crazy that you said this. Yeah. It would ruin my dream. Stupid answer. I know. ... See, because man, like I have said numerous times on this podcast and like off camera with Ryan that, you know, part of me feels like a big part of me feels like the actual wedding day is for the woman. Like I think there's a part of it that's obviously for us. But I think the majority, you disagree? No, but that goes back to the conditioning.
No.
Because
it's 100% for the woman. Okay, 100%. Okay. Your wedding day is not about you. Yeah. It's 100% about her. Your wife.
100%.
100%.
100%.
I've been told this by many old Jamaican men who live life, and old European men who live life, and all cultures. And it's funny. The reason why I say it's cultures because those who have lived long lives or long marriages, they're the ones going to tell you, hey, you know what? That day is not about you. Yeah. Like, it's 100% her. Maybe about the family. They might come second. Yeah. But do not think it's about you 100%.
Well, at no point do I think that people, you know, I'm not going to go into my wedding saying, like, all right, it's my wedding. Like, I'm ready to go. Right? Like, I'm not looking at it that way. But I'm still getting married too. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it like maybe 5%. No, yo, because it's real. All you have to do is show up. Yeah. Like you show up.
Imagine have to show up. Bring the mandem and show up.
I'm gonna quote my friend John Coyle. Yeah. When his wedding, when he got to do his speech, he says, "Thank you for coming to my wife's wedding." Straight up. Yo, that was it.
True. That's very real. Fuck, I don't know. Like at any point, have you guys ever thought about what your wedding is gonna look like?
Like actually look like?
Yeah, because I'm gonna say because
like size,
because
and all that kind
we both because we know that
like the aesthetics of it.
No. Hold on, because we know that the wedding is really for the woman. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So, quite frankly, like every single girl that I've ever dated, like. Let's say I thought about marrying them, every marriage would have been completely different. Like that wedding day would have looked completely different for every single one. Mm. So, but as a man, have you ever sat there and been like, this is what I want my wedding.
How I want to look.
Yeah, this is what my wedding is.
Absolutely the fuck not.
You never have.
No.
Wow. What I thought of, I haven't thought of that.
The only thing I thought about is size, how big I might want it, who I'm gonna invite, and maybe where it would be. That's it. Mm-hmm. Literally very basic things. Like, do I want a big wedding or a small wedding? And I'm like, I would like a small wedding, but most likely it's going to be big because my family's already... Like, my family alone is already big. And I'm not going to say no, none of my friends come. So that already duplicates. So it's going to be... And then that's just my side. So my girlfriend... Like, it's going to be big just by natural cases, right?
See, here's the thing, though. Because I too, have also been like... I've always thought, do I want... These are the things I've thought. I've thought, do I want a small wedding? Like, do I want a wedding here, or do I want a wedding somewhere else? Which is
just location.
Location. I thought of location. I thought about how many
size.
People. But then every time I get to that level of thinking, immediately I go, it doesn't matter because it's gonna be whatever my girl says. Like it doesn't.
It's true. That's probably why I subconsciously don't even care because I'm like, only thing I can really say is this is who I'm bringing. We should probably do it here. But if you don't mind, we can do somewhere else. But if you want to go somewhere else, you can do that too. You know? Yeah. Like, I want to go here, but if you want to go here, we can do that too. Or, and the last thing maybe I really thought about is what color suit I want for me and my mans. Maybe. If. Yeah. And that was like, one day I was like, I think like a nice navy suit and like navy and gold and white. I thought about once. And I never thought about it again. Again. And even that, she might be like, "You're not wearing that."
Like you're not wearing that.
You're not wearing that.
Like, what I learned is how it's not about me. It's all about the wife, whoever I marry.
Yeah.
100%. I learned that at a very young age, so I've never given it a thought. The only thing I've ever thought about and what I would want is that my entrance song. So after the wedding, you walk in, I'm like, what's my entrance song? That's the only thing I ever think about.
Yeah.
And it changes. Like one year it was DMX. What was it? Part all day, part out.
Yeah.
I love my bitch by wearing like that. I thought about that. Thought I'd enter NWA.
Yo, International Players Anthem has to be mine.
Yeah. Intro?
Yeah.
Yo, that sounds crazy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a good wedding song.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. But I think that's like too deep. Like it might propose questions after the fact.
Oh, because he's doing basically what the lyrics of the song.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
when you walk it in, and they're like, huh. Okay.
Yeah.
What's he actually saying here on his wedding day? So that one song's a little too real.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the only thing I ever think about. What would be my entrance song?
I haven't thought about the song. So you guys went further than me. I haven't thought that. Now I'm thinking. Now I'm like, what song would I play?
I'm like, hey.
Is there anything that like a woman? Okay, let's say there's a woman you love her, like you're gonna get married. You've already discussed it. You propose, set up the wedding night. Is there anything that she could say about what she wants on her wedding day that you would just be like, nah, I can't do that?
Horses.
What?
Horses.
Are you afraid of horses?
No, we don't have horses yet.
What do you mean, like riding in on a horse? Or?
No, just not. There's no horses.
Right. No, wait. Hold on. Let's back it up a second. Hold on. That is so specific. Like, do you have a fear of horses?
No, I don't have a fear.
Honest right now.
I don't have a fear of horses. I've just seen horses at a wedding before, and I'm like, this is like they try to make it royal looking. No, no, it's not happening. No horse, nothing. No animals. No animals. Period. There's no animals at their wedding. It's not farm. There's no animals. I don't care what animals. I don't want birds. I don't want nothing. I don't want any animals at their wedding. There's no need for that.
Oh my god, this man just had no horses like so quickly. Like,
I don't know. I thought about horses, but it's not happening.
That was so specific. What about you, Marcus?
I think for me it'd be the people. There might be specific people I may not want. So
like on their side?
I think on both sides.
Yeah.
Probably more on their side.
You would say don't invite these
so
people?
I'll give you an example. I remember a friend, they got married, like two friends got married, and one of them was still friends with one of their exes.
Right.
Yeah.
So they invited the ex to the wedding.
Would you allow your ex to come to your wedding?
I don't think so. I don't think I would.
Would you allow any of your exes to come to your wedding?
Or any exes. I think
Would you allow any of your exes to come to your wedding?
No.
I don't.
And by allow, that means you have to send an invite because it's yours.
Fuck no.
Like would you? Because it's not like no one's just showing up. By the way,
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I just heard a wedding's going on. Can I show up? Like no, like
unless you're Jerry Rice.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so like, which would entail you
invited.
Everyone finds out that you're getting married. They might hit you up like, oh, congrats, blah blah blah. Like, do you mind if you send me an invite? And
I got a really good question for after this that Jamie asked me.
I would say an ex is they're an ex for a reason. So to invite them is just bad juju.
to have them there.
Yeah.
What if they're also married?
Doesn't matter.
That's still bad.
No, I'm
juju.
just no.
Yeah. Of course not. Like,
No, I'm just asking you guys.
okay, because you know what? I'm gonna get to that question.
Yeah, I want to hear the question because I think like, it's just. And I get that you can still be friends, and I just
No
don't.
one's
Just,
friends. We're not friends.
yeah, it's just you could think you're
We're not
friends.
friends.
Okay, here, let me.
I dicked you down, and now you're in the crowd.
Yeah.
Now you're in the crowd going like this to my wife. No.
Here's the question. So, my girl asked, because my girl was here last week visiting Toronto, and she left, right?
Yeah.
And she said, she hits me up, and she's like, she basically said, oh, like, it was a variation of we need to talk.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, fuck, like, did I do something?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, we'll talk after I finish eating. I'm like, no, we're going to talk about this now, because now my interest is piqued.
You can't just say that and
Yeah.
leave. Oh,
So
I'll
she's
talk to you
like,
after I'm done.
so she said, so when I was walking home from the gym, I was thinking about relationships and past hookups and stuff, and this question popped into my head. And this is because I introduced her to Andrea, who was on the podcast, right? And she said, if you're introducing me to someone who's a girl that your friend, that that's your friend that I might potentially become friends with too, and you've had history with this girl, do you tell me about the history? Not in detail per se, but just generally, I have history with this girl, and vice versa. Me introducing you to someone who I may not have had history with. Are you in a place where you want me to tell you that? And then my answer was...
That you might potentially be friends with?
No. So basically, I have hooked up with... I have history with...
No, I got that part, but she's saying... knowing that she may potentially be friends with that person?
So the only reason I've introduced my girl to this girl now is because her and I are still friends.
Okay.
Right? And I'm introducing them because
you want them to be good.
There's a potential that they may be friends.
Okay, gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So
friends through you.
Through me.
Okay.
And I said, my response was, there's never going to be a situation where I'm introducing you to a girl that I have had history with. Like, if we're walking out and I bump into them, whatever, that's one thing. But I'm not going to go out of my way to introduce you to a girl that I've had... Because none of the girls that I have had history, like real history with, are currently my friend. Like, I don't consider them my friends. Like, if I see them, it's whatever. But they're not my friends. Yeah, I don't talk to them on the regular. And the example I gave was... my other friend Andrea. It's like it would be like me introducing you to Andrea, who she just met, and then I say, like, we have history, right? That would be kind of weird because I know based on the vibe of those two that they could actually be friends. I don't want my current girl being friends with the girl that I was previously decking down. Like, that doesn't mean to. That's bad juju. Like, something is bound to happen at that point, right? So. That is why I would never in a million years, like under any circumstance, have my ex at a wedding. Like, it's not happening. Like, I don't care if it's been fucking 5 years.
Now, what if they invited you?
What do you mean?
Would you go?
Fuck no. Why am I going? Why are you inviting me? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, if any of my exes invited me to their wedding, for what? Like,
they want your support somewhere.
For what? What do you need my support for?
Send her off.
No. No, you dumb. Like, no, because there's something low key vindictive about doing it. Like, there's some ulterior motive.
I have to look at the groom in the eye and be like.
I did things to your wife. Like,
I had to look at them really in the eye and be like, "Hi, I'm Ryan." A firm shake, like, and he has to turn to his wife and be like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's just. I mean, like a long time ago, it's just.
You don't do it like.
No.
I'm not putting. I would never put myself in a position where that's happening. And then, the flip side to this, and it kind of relates back to the Drake conversation we had when people were saying that it's none of our business whether or not he has a kid or whatever, right? I am in the pool that feels differently because he is an artist that has made himself popular off of being like sensitive and very open about a lot of his issues. Like, he puts all his family business out there, right? Since when? From the jump.
Yeah.
So for you to all of a sudden be like, I'm not going to talk about this kid that I potentially have, like, it's kind of, it doesn't, it's not keeping it 100 with everything that you've been doing, right? Mm-hmm. But it relates back to this because it's like people are like picking and choosing and like what they want to be like upset about, And it's like you got to decide at some point. Like, I'm just not inviting my ex to my wedding. That's never happening under any circumstance. I don't care. I could be cordial with my ex.
You're not coming.
It could be fine. You're not coming.
You're not coming.
There's no scenario. Absolutely none.
You can wish me thanks.
Simply put, I look at it this way: energy is a real thing, and those are energies you just do not want to mix.
Yeah.
It's going to create something you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, you don't. It goes back to what we're talking about. The wedding itself. Who is the wedding for? What is that day really about?
It's her day, and you're bringing your ex.
It's
her day.
Yeah. Or
would you bring your ex-girlfriend to your girl's birthday?
No.
Like, exactly.
Yeah.
What was my girl's birthday party? Oh, you want to come by?
The only situation in which my ex is gonna be in the same room with my girl is if I'm there to stunt on my ex with my current girl. That's the only situation.
Like, you bring her somewhere.
Yeah, like, if I go somewhere,
okay,
and I happen to know that my ex is gonna be there, and I'm bringing my girl, I'm doing it because I'm gonna stun on my ex, like my current girl. That's the only situation because I'm petty like that. But like,
well, let's go.
But like in every other situation, like I'm not actively going out of my way to put myself in that position. It's just bad energy, and I don't like it.
The only time I ever see like an ex be in the same room with my a current girlfriend or wife or whatever would be like my funeral.
Yeah,
and that's just because that again. Yeah, I like drama because that's funny.
No, but
I can just imagine.
But yeah, they'll be there.
They will break that tension.
Yeah,
like I could just see.
It'll be like, oh, so who?
Because one of my friends be like, oh my God, Marcus has set this up. It's going to go down today
when he's not here.
Exactly. It's like, oh, he loves us. Like, yeah, it just doesn't work.
This guy just made me think of something really fucking crazy.
What?
I don't think to say that.
You gotta say it. You can't say it.
Just replace names. Come on. You know the routine.
It's not even names. It's not even names.
So what is it?
It's so morbid. He said, he's talking about funerals.
Yeah.
And I was like, there'd be a lot of things.
You're laughing too much. What is it? Take your time.
There will be a lot of things at my funeral. That is a very bad scene. Yo, that's so sick. Like, not cool sick. Like, that's morbid, but crazy.
It's actually true. A lot of things will probably...
Bro, there will be a lot of things at my funeral.
So it's funny.
Even ones that don't even like me
I actually use that as a decision-making filter. Decision quality filter.
For what?
For life. Like, if I were to die, we're going to
Not
die.
if
we're all going to die.
When?
That's something you can't escape.
Yeah.
But what does your legacy look like afterwards?
Right.
Because you can only control what you do before it happens.
Yeah.
And I look at things like that. Okay, if I pass away, and all these people are going to show up at my funeral, what exactly is going to happen? What it's going to look like? What is going to that's your last stand for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've thought about this so many times. Like, okay,
I've actually never thought about it right now.
Listen, so like, I thought, okay, I remember I talked about this with one of my boys like 2 years ago. I'm not expose it, but he basically, this dude was, he was fooling around with a couple girls, right? And I was just like, we had the same conversation. He's like, yo, imagine like, I died and had funeral. All these girls showed up. I'm like, a lot of them are gonna be pissed when they realize that they thought they were the one that you were with, and then like they find out that was never the case, right? Like
they find out that day, like who you? Oh, who you?
Yeah.
Like that's how you want to go out, like
causing fights at the funeral.
He said there was only one or two. Who are you?
So I don't know, man. It's crazy. But one of the other things I wanted to ask you that Jamie was saying was that argument where people say it's like, let's say I have a female friend that I like hooked up with in any capacity in the past. I have a girlfriend now, and I introduced them, right? Some people will argue that, not her, but some people will argue that it's not my partner's business to know what happened in the past, right?
Okay.
Do you guys agree with that sentiment? Because I'm firmly against
Absolutely not.
Yeah, like I hate the I hate the argument where people say like it's not.
This is the problem, gentlemen and ladies out there. Once a penis inserts, all lines are gone forever. Not for as long as you feel like it. Not for that was the past. That was a while ago. And I'll speak for women specifically because it's only guys, mostly guys. I'll say women do, but it's mostly guys who think this information is no longer important.
Yeah.
If your woman knows that anyone in the room you've dicked down, she's not comfortable. Period. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah, there's a portion. There's a part of her that is not.
Period. Yeah. I don't care if it was 20 years ago. If you said, "Oh yeah, we used to have sex 20 years ago," she's like, She's like, "Why did it stop? How long? Was it good? What?" Like, it's just you're putting them in a situation that they will be uncomfortable. Which means for you to withhold information means you knowingly know if you knew this, this situation would not exist. So the only reason you're technically lying by omission because you know this scenario is not a smooth going scenario if I actually tell you. So you say, "Oh, it's not important." It's important. You just know it's gonna fuck shit up.
I have a more romantic way of looking at it because I am a romantic.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. I do not dive into the past. Because if I'm with somebody and I actually am with somebody and I care about them, it's all about thinking about what it is in the future going forward, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm taking, like, you can't go live into the past. So now I'm trying to introduce the past into this future. Again, you're just mixing things that you should be mixing. To your point, like it's going to lead to questions that maybe that person does not deserve to have as a burden on their shoulders. Now, if it ever got to the point where they said, "Hey, I need to know," maybe that would be a very strong like a maybe. But I mean, like, but I think the point is that, and again, I'm gonna speak for myself. I can fall in love real quick, and therefore, if I'm with somebody and I care about them, then I'm like, it's all about you. Don't forget about what happened yesterday. Let's worry about today, and let's start thinking about.
Saying forget about what happened yesterday is not the same as I'm going to introduce you to somebody, but don't worry about what happened yesterday.
But is it not though? Because if somebody who's an ex means yesterday. Like, if somebody's an ex, like I said before, they're an ex for a reason. They're not there anymore. You've crossed a line of some sort, and therefore now that line has become blurred. That line has disappeared. The romance is gone.
Yeah, but what he's saying is you're not active. Like, you can say forget about the past and forget about this and don't worry about that. Let's move forward. But you're not going to actively introduce her to things from the past and omit them.
But I think if you're actively introducing somebody to the past, you're still living in the past.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
That I agree with. But here's my thing. Like, I very much agree with you. But I will, if I know that I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to be in the same room where my girl's going to see someone that, like, I have, been with, slept with, a large portion of me is saying to myself, I need to make my girl aware before she finds out in her own way. So, because here's my thinking.
If you didn't put in that situation,
okay, because here's perfect scenario, right? Let's say before I met Jamie, like, I was a dog, right? So, and I was a dog for a long time. So here's my thing. I know for a fact. I'm not afraid to admit this.
What kind of dog are you?
A Rottweiler. I know for a fact.
I was a German.
I know German Shepherd. Get the fuck out of here. I know for a fact that woof. So I know for a fact that
Great Dane, this bitch.
There's a great chance that, like, it's very possible. The chances aren't like super high.
Yeah.
But it's like Toronto is so small that I may run into someone that I have slept with. Right? A girl.
At some point, of course.
At some point, like, it very well happen. Like, I was thinking about the other day.
If you go out.
I was thinking about the other day, like, walking on the street, like, downtown. I'm like, yo, this is where that girl that I slept with used to go.
In your head, right?
In my head.
I'm like, just walking.
And I'm like,
can't say those things out loud.
I'm like,
you walk by a building, like, this is a street building.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck. Like, it would be really awkward if I ran. So here's my thing. If I was walking on the street with my girl and I see this girl, right? And girls can sense energy, right? Like, I can't.
Oh, it's awesome, right?
You can't. You can't just walk by. Like, it takes.
You change. You actually change.
It takes some.
You get quiet.
Yes.
Look.
Yes.
If you can walk. If you're with your girl. If you're with a girl and you can walk dead by a girl that you have, like,
used to slap. Like, that was the house. That was the house.
Like,
you know, the door, the buzzer, all that.
If you can walk by that girl like it's nothing, you're a serial killer. Like, if you
have no conscience.
You have no conscience. So my argument is,
without, like, even looking at the door, like, at least not even glancing at it, just straight.
My thing is if the physical interaction happens where the girl and my girl interacts in any sort of way, I'm gonna let my girl know, like, just so you know, like, we had a history in the past, and that's it. Because my fear, and I've seen it happen multiple times, is like, the girl that you're with finds out about that history that you had, and then the narrative turns into,
why didn't you say anything?
Why didn't you say? And then I have to have that whole dumb argument.
I didn't want to say anything because then you would have
blah blah. It wasn't important. Blah
just
blah.
Say it.
Because I'd rather just tell you, so then it's like, this is what happened. That's it. It's in the past. I don't have to go into details. I can just say, look, we slept together. That's it.
So this is what you need to do going forward. You need to be more strategic. So,
like, avoid take roots?
Yes.
Oh my god, bro.
Here's a question. Any of your exes, do you guys still follow them, like, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook?
I do.
Okay. Some more?
No, I don't.
Okay.
There's none that fall on my
Okay, I think you should because you want to be fully aware of
Of
like
what the
if
fuck
they,
they're doing?
hey, I'm at this place and I'm at this restaurant
To avoid
because
them?
if you're with your
I'm
new
not going
girl
there.
and you know that old girl's over here,
Yeah.
you're gonna reroute your life because you're right. If you walk by that house, if you know there's a house,
You're gonna glance.
don't walk by that house.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's take this route, or don't even say anything. Just drive around the block. Like, just there. I think, and it sounds dumb, but I
I
think
feel like you shouldn't be so conscious of it to like adjust your lifestyle.
I don't think
But
it's about.
just to
It's not about
avoid-
adjusting lifestyle.
I agree with what you're saying.
It's more about you're not going to adjust your lifestyle because that's when you get again to like serial killers. Like
Yeah.
when you're again that level. I think it's just if there is a hint of care where you're trying to avoid the conversation that you mentioned, you start thinking about okay, well, put it this way, you know, I'm a big Raptors guy.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if any of my exes will ever show up to a Raptors game
Yeah.
because there's a good chance you're going to see me there at one of the 41 games.
Yeah.
Like it's just
But they're like, I know he's gonna be there.
yeah. So
Like,
therefore, I'm never going to go to the ACC.
I don't want to have
ever
that
again,
chat. Yeah.
yeah.
unless I see that he's out of the country or out of town or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, I think that goes both ways. I think also the idea is that if an ex is an ex for a reason, there was a connection. Even if someone you just hook up with, there's a connection of some sort. So whether that connection was one night, whether that connection was 1 week, whether that connection was 10 years, whatever that may look like, there was a connection there. And because that connection has fizzled out, I mean, the sparks, they call it the spark. The spark's not there anymore, but there's still something there. You're still going to be respectful to that person, to some regards, even if it's crazy respectful.
And that's the thing. Like,
But you're also going to be more respectful to the new person as well.
Yeah.
So I think things like really, even though it sounds crazy, like, you know, I'm not going to walk by that house.
That's out of respect.
It's crazy, but it does come from a very strange human.
Like, I'm not gonna bring my current girlfriend past a house I used to slap a thing in.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna make you walk by that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, yo, let's walk. Let's actually walk by this home, and you have no idea what it is. But in my head, I'm like, some good nights.
And I'm thinking of some crazy stories like I've heard from friends, like no names, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this one friend. She told me she was dating this guy.
Yeah.
Then it broke off. Then she started dating this other guy, and then when she was hanging out with him, she went to his place, and the first guy was his roommate.
Fuck.
So she was just like,
oh,
this is the most socially awkward thing.
Yeah. That's
If I knew, then I would not have made that happen. And like, look, it's those things that it's about being socially awkward, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things you do to make sure there's no socially awkward moments that take place because it leads to those questions that you can't avoid.
Right.
So why did it break off 20 years ago? Blah, 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 whatever the case may be, right?
See, and look, I was very upfront with Jamie about, because when she asked me, she's like, why, like, would you? No, I actually told her straight out. I'm like, the reason why I would never introduce you to any girl that I have had history with is because I'm not friends with them. And the reason I'm not friends with them is because any girl that I have slept with, like, more than once, they've all, like, caught feelings. Like, every single one of them. And in all those situations, the feeling wasn't reciprocated in some of them. So I know that by putting them in that same situation, same environment, someone is still gonna feel some type of way.
yeah.
Right? Like, it's bound to happen. And I wonder if a lot of, because that's my thing. Like, I'm thinking about the fact that, like, you know, I'm definitely not bringing someone around who had very strong feelings for me, because that kind of connection might still be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't need to be there. And like, I also know, truth be told, if someone has that kind of connection to you, like they feel that type of way, and you've already slept with them, you're putting yourself in a very dangerous situation still being friends with that person, because you could like, if you really wanted to, you could sleep with that person at any given time,
And they would let you.
they will let you do that. So why, like, I don't need to, I just can't afford to put myself in a position where I know that I could potentially get myself in trouble. It almost sounds like I'm saying that I have
You
no
don't trust
willpower,
yourself, but it's not about that.
but it's not
It's
that.
not about
It's just
trusting
like
yourself.
I don't want to surround myself with anyone who express feelings like that towards me, because then I know.
Especially when you have the opportunity to make a choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, why, you're not gonna willfully do that to try and fight it.
No.
like
if
let me
I
put myself in the fire and see if I can get out. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's,
why?
Like the way I look at it is how do these relationships start? Like, so let's say I have history with a girl, right? Were we like actually friends first, and then at some point like we hooked up, and then it was like it just didn't work out.
No,
Like,
you've been fucking, then became friends because you're like, I see you a lot,
Yeah.
so this is cool.
the-
Now we're friends because I see you, so we start talking at other stuff.
But I'm saying
yeah.
I've been in a
Yeah,
position where like I had a friend, like we were friends first, we hooked up, and then it was like why, like it wasn't like why do we do this, and then it just didn't continue, right? But that is a situation where I could kind of see myself being friends with that person still, as opposed to someone that I was just fucking and then we became friends, because the foundation of the relationship is different, right? Like I never started off my relationship with you as actually a friend. Like we started off like sexually. So what's the basis of our relationship here? It's sexual behavior.
yeah.
That's
we're
why
trying to turn it into friendship.
now we're trying to turn into friendship. Like I don't know what it means to be a friend with you.
You're not my friend. We're not friends. Like, we're not friends.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's the reality of the situation
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. So we talked about the exes that you may be still friends with.
Yeah.
What if an ex that you weren't friends with, let's say an ex who provokes anger, was invited to your wedding or showed up to your wedding somehow? Give me an example. So let's say, so you marry your girl. She invites her cousin from out of town. Her cousin from out of town.
This is to the wedding, you're saying?
Yeah, to the wedding.
Okay.
So they say, hey, cousin, come to the wedding and bring a +1.
Yeah.
And then the +1, it so happens to be the ex that you...
Like, there's degrees of separation that they don't know that you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the ex ends up being one of the exes that did not end well or did not go well.
But
How
that ex doesn't know you're getting married? That ex doesn't
Well,
know?
that's part of the question. Like,
Or does she just show up anyway?
because I mean, like, if the cousin says, "Hey, partner,
This guy,
let's go
yeah,
to my cousin's wedding. She's marrying
some guy.
a guy named Marcus Brown."
Yeah.
At some point, something's gonna click. Hey, Marcus Brown.
Yeah, I know Marcus.
Yeah. So
That shit would not fly with
And
me.
she still shows
My name
up.
is Zamora. There's only one Zamora. Like you know whose wedding you're going to.
So let's just say she still shows up. She's like, whatever, I'll show up, whatever.
How do
But
you deal
you
with-
didn't know she was showing up,
how do you deal with that?
and she's there.
Yeah.
I just don't speak to her. I literally can't speak to you.
Okay.
No, I'm telling her you gotta leave.
Nah,
So-
you-
I'm telling her. I'm telling her.
I wouldn't say that.
Why?
Why?
I wouldn't
be
I
respectful
would,
to her?
No, nothing to do with respect. I wouldn't like you said. That day is my wife's day.
Energy, right? Yeah.
I would not put my energy into trying to get her to leave, trying to get her out, trying to give her any attention to be like, why are you here? Like, none of that. No, I would see her, I'd be like, it would just be one of those like, okay, whatever. Like, whatever, you know? Be a spectator. I would still carry on my day. I'd still be my man's, propose, to my, do the vows of my wife, go through the wedding exactly how I should. The only problem is knowing me, and I've been in situations where there's a girl in there that I know, or there's a girl that I've slept with, whatever, in the same area I've been with my girlfriend, or not this girlfriend I have, but a girlfriend, and I catch myself glancing, subconsciously or consciously, just like locating them, like
That's what I was saying. Like your eyes will probably
but I'm
peel,
just
yeah.
I know, but I'm saying I know that would happen. I'd have to be okay with that happening for the day and just deal with it. I wouldn't bring it up to my wife. I wouldn't say this girl's here. Like it wouldn't be one of those, because that would ruin everything. And to explain, I didn't invite her, but it was a cousin. No, none of this explanation's going down. Doesn't even matter. How she got here doesn't matter. And me explaining that to my wife on that day is just that would ruin her whole mood. So I would acknowledge it. I would locate her throughout the night, throughout the day, whatever, just to make sure she's away from us. So, because I never want to be looking at her while I'm with my wife. So it would kind of be like when I'm on my own, but okay, she's over there, cool, But I wouldn't send her home. I wouldn't speak to her. I wouldn't go up to her and be like, hey. I know she'd be looking at me, so I'd be like, all right, cool. You'd send her home.
Of course, in a heartbeat.
How? You just walk up to her and be like, go home?
Nah, I don't do it myself. Yo,
You'd send a man?
does the kingpin do it himself? No.
You'd send a minion? Go take care of that girl.
Why do you have your groomsmen for? Like,
Man's gonna show up and be like, nah,
you
Did
gotta
you
go.
say groomsmen or goonsmen?
Groomsmen. Like, you have them deal with
man's
it.
walk up, no, you have to go.
Nah, you have to go. Like, I'm sorry. You're not supposed to be here. Like, you're not. So why are you here? Like, you need to leave. Because knowing me, like, at some point, like, it's gonna irk me. Not to the point where I'm gonna, I'm not gonna have it affect the time when I'm with my wife, but
your mind will be somewhere.
But my mind will be like, why the fuck is this bitch here?
Yeah.
Like, she needs to go. Like, why the audacity to show up at my wedding? You know it's my wedding. Like, don't show up here. You didn't get an invite from me. So, and that also, because that ex has to know. There's at no point.
I don't feel like it's oblivious.
There's no point where, like, I've been to weddings where I don't even know the people actually getting married personally. Like, I've gone as a +1, but I still make an effort to, like, look at the invite.
Where am I going?
Like, where,
you don't show up and see, oh, this is who's
getting married.
I only saw right now once I entered the doors. Like,
oh, who's getting married? Like, if you show up and you're just like, oh, like, I didn't know it was you. Like, nah, you gotta go. And at that point, I expect you to just leave. Like, be like, all right, my bad, I gotta go. Yeah. You're not gonna fight me on saying at my wedding. Like, come on. At that moment, it's my wedding. I'm saying, like, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at it from a more subtle point of view. So you go to somebody else's wedding.
Yeah.
As a +1.
Okay.
And probably somebody who's not in the wedding party.
Yeah.
So let's say another friend who just so happens to be there, who's an ex, but they're friends of somebody in the wedding. Yeah. And you're there, and we talk about bad energy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you do then? Do you still try to work it? Do you still stick around?
So I go to this wedding as, like, my friend's +1.
Yes.
And my ex is there.
And your ex is somebody else's +1.
I don't, at that point, because it's not my wedding, I feel like I'm not in control of that situation. Mm-hmm. It comes down to two things. I either go the whole night, like, not interacting with that person whatsoever. Like, I pretty much act like they don't exist. Or unless this acts like, unless they did something to really aggravate me, like, to the point where I'm furious when I see them, I would probably just take it upon myself to leave. I'll just be like, I'm not gonna deal with this energy. Like, I don't need to be here. I'm just gonna do my own thing. Yeah. Because, like, at that point, it's not my wedding, right? So I can't dictate who has to leave or not. It's really on me. Like, I either stick through it and just not interact with this person, or I leave. But it really comes down to what that relationship looks like with my ex, right? I mean, in all honesty, all my exes, I don't think I have one where I'm like, if I see you, like, I fucking hate your guts. But I know you do. But 100%. But with that being said, there are still things about those exes, as I'm sure they probably have some shit to say about me. There's still some things that were done where I'm just like, I'm not afraid to fucking, talk some shit. Like, if the situation arises, right? So, and I'm always ready for it. Like, I really am. So that's why I kind of have to like really pay mind to some of those situations.
What would you do, Ryan? Because you said you have one that you don't like.
Yeah. So you're saying I went to someone else's wedding.
Yes. And
this ex was a date of another person at this wedding.
Yeah, so I'll give you a more direct example. Okay. You show up to Zamor's wedding.
Okay.
And then, let's say...
And I show up with my girlfriend, for example?
Yes, your girlfriend.
So I have a date.
So you have a date. So you're there because you're there for Zamor. And let's say Zamor's wife, her... not best friend, say her somewhat friend...
dates my ex somehow.
Yes, exactly.
And I can't stand that girl.
Yeah, what are they called? 6 degrees of separation, whatever.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
First of all, I tell my girlfriend. Absolutely, I tell her. I'm like, so my ex-girlfriend's here, and I fucking hate this bitch. She'll probably be like, what you do to you, blah, 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 and like try and defend me or whatever. But nah, just allow it, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then from that point, we'll both be aware that there's energies here, and I think it'll prevent me from having to be awkward around my actual girlfriend.
Right.
Because she'll be aware, like, okay, this is bitch. Okay, this is what she did. All right, you know what? Cool. Let's just enjoy the night, babe. You know.
That's smart.
So I don't have
a question.
What?
So like, it's tough because like I think your approach is really good, but I always wonder if like it's such a double-edged sword when it comes to reacting to your ex, because I wonder if that a part of your girl then thinks
You still care?
yeah, like not, you know what I mean? Like why is he letting her get to him, right? Because for me, like I know in my heart, like if an ex gets to me, it's definitely not because I still love you.
No,
it's definitely not. It's because
you're actually a bad person.
yeah, like you probably did something that like aggravates me when I'm like, yo, when I see you, it like pisses me off, right? But it's just weird because the it's different when it's like men and women reacting this way. Yeah. If my ex reacts a certain way to a guy that she used to date,
hurt her.
Yeah, it's because
in most cases,
he might
not always,
her, or she genuinely hates him.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, like I get that. And I feel bad that you see this dude now, but like every situation I've been in or like witnessed firsthand where a guy is reacting to his ex, I've seen girls be like, why is he like focusing on her? Like, I'm here. And I'm just like, you don't totally get it. Yeah. You know? Like
okay, for example, for my situation, the girl that I would say I'm not gonna say I hate her because I let go of all my hate over the last couple of years, but I dislike her quite a bit. I basically got her a cell phone when we were dating. She ran up her bill. Bill went up to some crazy amount. I couldn't close the account because it was under my name. I gave her an extra phone under my name, like an idiot. And she ended up running up the bill. We ended up breaking up. She got spiteful and said she's not paying. Right? I got stuck with a $2,500 bill. Had to eat it. Had to pay it. And my phone got cut off because it was under my. If I don't pay it, whether it's under her, whether she used it or not, it's under my name.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, she didn't pay. They're like, okay, that's nice. You didn't pay, right? And I had the money, so I lost my phone too in the process. Whole crazy thing happened. Ended up having to pay that off. Just worked the whole summer to pay that off and get nothing. Right. She disappeared. I never heard from her again. She said, "That's on you." Cool.
Not cool, but
no, not cool. But like, it was like, okay, all right. Then some time went by, and some of her little minion friends that I knew through her, whatever. I would see them out, just them, not her, right?
Yeah.
So, but they knew me, like, oh, like, so they look at me, and still to this day, I see these friends downtown sometimes, because she's from Ottawa, the girl's from Ottawa, but she has friends in Toronto, whatever, and they're here now, and some of them moved from Ottawa to Toronto, so I see them, they know me. So when I see them, I don't talk to them, but I see them whispering, like, it's still this little, and it's been years, but it's still like, I know you're his ex, I know you're her ex, like, blah, blah. She basically told her friends that I owe her money. Crazy. But they believe this. So they told her friends, oh, like, that's the guy who, like, took money from the girl, blah, blah. I'm like, what the? Anyways. Yeah. So there's this crazy fucking narrative that these little girls have that they're spreading and telling their friends about. I don't give a fuck anymore. I used to be like, this is so stupid. I used to explain myself. So I'm like, that don't happen. Like, I used to get so mad. I'm like, that didn't happen. Like, I would actually lose my mind because I'm like, this girl's really, really finessed me and then flipped me to look like I'm the crazy one. And they used to get to me. And they got them. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. I'm bigger than this. Now, if she happens to show up at this wedding.
You punch her in the head.
Like, I would literally be like, first of all, I haven't seen her in like 6 years. So to see her there, I'd be like, oh my God, I hate you. Like, all the energy would come back. Right. For sure. Right. To see her fucking head. Right? So
I really want to see what she looks like. I need to know what she looks like.
To see her head would frustrate me. Now, like I said, I would tell my girlfriend, be like, this is the girl that blah, blah, blah. I probably told you about at some point. Whatever. But then I'd be like.
Yo, Brian, I have a question.
Yeah.
What would you do if she showed up at the wedding party? And her gift was the $2,500. What would you do?
Her gift
What did you do? The wedding gift was $2,500.
to me?
Yes, to you and your wife.
Show up to my wedding.
You should. She's at your
Yeah,
wedding.
it wasn't not
I
our
don't know,
wedding.
but
Remember?
let's say she showed up to your wedding, yeah? She has a gift. It's an envelope. She puts it on the table. And you're like, what are you doing here? You get into this whole like scuffle, and you're like, you need to leave. And she leaves this envelope, right? Fast forward, like next day when you're around there going through your envelopes, looking at all the gifts, you open this one up from her, and it's a $2,500. What are you doing at that moment?
Let's actually paint a different picture. So let's go back to my original example where she shows up as a friends plus one.
Yeah.
And you see her and you're like, what she's doing here? And she walks up to you. You know, when you get like the wedding gifts.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's my gift to you. She gives you the envelope. You open it up, has $2,500 inside of it. She's staring you dead in the eye.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And she gave me back this money 6 years later.
What do you
I'd
do?
slap her with it. I swear to God, I would actually have to. I'd take it. I would take it, but I'd actually have
You
to
slap her with his
Yo,
phone
I'd be
check.
so mad. I'd be so mad. I would literally take it and be like, I'd have to slap across the face with it, and then leave. I'd leave at that. I need the satisfaction to box through with that. Maybe get my assault charge fine for slapping with a piece of money,
Boxer with the check.
and then I would take it and cash it. Yeah, and then I'd feel good about myself.
That'd be funny. Here's your gift.
Oh man,
Oh my God, I don't know what I would do, bro. If I witnessed that whole thing,
bro.
oh jeez.
Yeah, I'm not getting that money back.
But you said something that actually made me think. So
What?
it's fun because that actually kind of cuts a little deeper with me.
Yeah.
If that happens, or in that situation where, let's say, with your action, she shows your wedding, does it impact you because it's a knock on your character, or is it a knock on your reputation?
What is
So,
what?
for example, use the example of the ex from Ottawa.
Yeah.
She shows up at your wedding, and you just have those feelings that, like, hey, what is she doing here?
Yeah.
Not the joke.
Yeah.
Let's say she shows up for whatever reason. Is it because that what she did to you was something that impacted your reputation or character? So I look at in life, you have reputation, you have your character,
Yeah.
and some people weigh one more
Than the other.
than the other.
Yeah.
Some people actually weigh both of them equally.
Right.
I know for me personally, I believe my reputation is a reflection of my character. So therefore, if my reputation is that she's telling all her friends that you owe her money, when the fact of the matter, she owes you money.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I have this reputation, or you have this reputation that is completely not false,
Yeah.
and now I'm looking like I'm some sort of deadbeat dude who ripped her off. Now that's also a knock on my character.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how it would impact
yeah.
me.
It's
Like,
very personal.
Is it the same for you guys, or is it different?
I've never thought of it that way, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Like,
My thing, I've never broken it down that way, or I've actually never even broken it down to why it upset me so much, to the point like I know why it upset me. I lost a lot of money, but I didn't really break it down to like why is this angering you that much?
I think looking at it from my point of view, looking at it there, like initially, like when you said the whole money thing, that's why I would be pissed. But this is the first time I'm hearing that she flipped it to try and make it seem like you were the one. At that point, I'm now upset.
I'm angry.
Yeah, now
Like,
I'm angry because you're basically like you're flipping it and attacking like me personally, like my character. Like this is
when I did nothing to you.
All right, you
Yeah.
use an example, Rob, because in the last episode, you guys were talking about when you fell in the fountain and you lost $4,000 worth of equipment,
Yeah.
and then you came to the realization, that sucks, but you're going to move forward because you could always make the money back. That's how I look at it.
Right.
You're
And
going to make
that's
the money
how I
back.
got past this whole situation in general. Because I was like, you know what? Like, oh, it's money. Like,
Yeah.
you made that money back a long time. Like,
Yeah.
it's gone. It's gone.
So in those situations
Yeah.
where she essentially ripped you off with money, it's the same thing. Like, it's money. It sucks. It
But it's
hurts.
beyond
it
the money
stings,
now.
but it's
Yeah.
not beyond the money. Am I still angry because of these other things? And I that's why it came to me, because I'm
Right. Right.
Everybody, go back and listen to that episode if you haven't heard it.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like you have things that are objects that.
Because I'm clear I'm not mad about the money anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the money's gone.
Yeah.
It's more just like, you did this, and then you have no remorse for it. And on top of it,
You're lying.
you're lying. Why?
Yeah.
Like, even if you had the money right now and gave it to me, I'd be like, thanks, but you're still fucked. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be like, oh, we're good now, thanks. It'd be like, no, but this is just money. Like, I can make this money. I can make $2,500.
Yeah.
You're fucked up. You know what I mean? Separate from the money, you have a problem. That's the problem. The money, that's not even the problem anymore. I don't like you. Like, I don't even like you. Because let's just say she took that money, disappeared, whatever, and didn't say anything bad about me. I probably would be over it.
Yeah.
No joke.
Because
I'd probably be like, you know what? Fuck, that sucked. But nothing came from it. She didn't tell anybody. No false narrative came. Just like, she just didn't pay me, broke up. I'd be like, you know what? When it would feel like more like an investment. I invested in a girlfriend. It didn't work. We moved on.
Yeah.
But because it became so much more than that after the fact, is like, I don't care about the money anymore. You're fucked.
Yeah. See, like the issue for me is because I'm very much in line with like both of you bringing up really good points here, and you know, see, like let's say my ex shows up at the wedding, right? The reason that in itself really upsets me is because, you know, that lets me know one of two things. It lets me know that either that ex is just, you know, fucking brazen, or she believes in her mind that her and I are in a okay place for this to happen, right? So, prime example I can give is one of my exes, which you know. I remember like years, maybe like 2 years after we broke up, she hit up one of my best friends, right? Who she knew actually before me, right? So one of my best friends and her like used to work with each other back in like early high school days, right? And then they stopped working together. I met my best friend at the high school I transferred to, and then when I started dating her, he was just like, oh, like me and her used to work together, we know each other. But the way the friendship dynamic worked is like me and him had a much tighter relationship than they did, because it just fizzled out over the years. So fast forward, we break up, and she hits him up, basically saying something along the lines of like, you know, like I missed the whole crew and like I miss you and all that type of stuff, because they were friends at some point. And like, because my boy knows me, like he told me that he hit her up, right? No, that she hit him up. And the only reason that like kind of really aggravated me is because her and I never left on good terms. You know what I mean? Like our relationship didn't end on good terms. So for her to reach out to someone who is in my immediate circle, like my circle is very small. Yep. For you to like now, even I don't care that like you guys had some sort of friendship beforehand, it's the fact that like after you broke up that you didn't maintain that friendship with him, right? And then now you're trying to insert yourself back into my circle essentially, because at some point it's gonna come up that where you're around each other, I'm gonna see you, all these types of things, and we did not end off on good terms. So it sounds petty, but I took it as a form of disrespect. So I was like, we didn't end off on good terms. So like, why would you think it's okay to try and hang out with my best friend and he knows that we didn't end off on good terms? Like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, everything was going to be fine and okay?
Trying to get your attention and a reaction out of you.
You know what I mean? And that's what
is deliberate. And
that's what happened. Like, it got a reaction out of me and made me feel dumb, because I'm like, are you for real right now? And that's how I would look at the whole wedding situation. Yeah. Exes are exes for a reason. Yeah. Like, I could have a relationship that ended like on good terms, all this type of stuff. But which is rare, but if we don't have this conversation where like, I know you're coming to this wedding, like don't fucking show up, because it's not like, you don't take it upon yourself to show up.
I'm smiling because I'm thinking, so Zamora knows I love Naruto a lot. Yeah. So weddings like two clans or two villages form a treaty with one another, and then you got this rogue ninja who just shows up, and you know it's just trouble. Yeah. There's no story that's going to end well when you have this rogue person that pops up, and again goes back to the friendship. Yeah, it's like a friendship. Like you have your little clan, you have your little circle, and then this person's now trying to get back in. You're like, no, you betrayed the village. Literally, and that's what it is.
Like,
It's you betrayed the village 2 years ago. But then there's also the question is, okay, wait a minute. This person who's in the village, is he like, I don't know, Itachi? Like, what's going on here? Like,
because man, it's just crazy because at the end of the day, like, people are very, I think men and women are very territorial, right? Like, we're incredibly, like, a lot of people don't really want to admit it, but it's true. Like, my girl, like you said earlier, definitely does not want any girl that I have slept with in the past around her in the vicinity. She does not want that, right? The same thing goes to me. Like,
you don't want that. You don't want to be around
like,
mans that
I may be confident enough to not, like, freak the fuck out.
You still don't want it
if I see it, but I don't want it because like I don't. That's the difference that, like, some people just don't seem to understand. Right?
And there are people that actually don't care. Like, the genuine are people that are like, meh. Yeah. Like, why I slept with that guy? Okay.
See,
like, there are people that generally do not care.
And
like, you can't say they're acting like they don't. Like, there's people that actually like, okay. Like,
I'm sorry. Like, a part of me finds that, like, odd. That, like, that
same type of person is the same person who's okay with their woman doing certain things or okay with their guy doing certain things because they really are confident with themselves and the relationship. They're like, and
I don't know if that's just I don't know if we just boil it down to someone being confident. I won't say
it's just confident. I'll also say it's some people have different motivators. Yeah. Than like what we feel motivates us in a relationship is exclusivity, being very private, being to me, ours, mine. Like, that's how we view relationships. Yeah. That's how I view it, at least. Yeah. And there are some people who view relationships like, as long as you're mine, I don't really care what you do. Yeah. Like, and that, like, there are people that actually believe that. Like, are you mine? Yeah. Do you love me? Yeah. Okay. That's all that matters to me. Yeah. I don't want you to cheat on me, but if you do, you do. Like, it sounds fucked, but there are people who literally believe, like, if you cheat on me, I'd rather you not. Mm-hmm. But if you do, I'm not going anywhere, and I love you, and okay. I'm not okay with it, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think that calls back to what we were talking about, that whole conditioning piece. Mm. Right. Like, those are your values. That's what you grew up with. Yeah. Like, someone hurt me. Oh, okay, well, I'm hurt. But I don't want to be uncomfortable, so I'm gonna roll with this situation. Right. So someone cheats on me, they hurt me. Yeah. Okay, that sucks, but it's not as bad as feeling uncomfortable. So therefore,
it's not as bad as being alone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it goes back down to those values that you're instilled with or you're conditioned to maintain, which is a very interesting thing because it ties back into what we started with. Like, it really comes down to who you are, what you believe in, what your values are, and the person you connect with. It all depends on what their values are and whether or not those things mix. Like, literally, it's what mixes and what doesn't.
It's very true. Like, I don't know why my mind thought of this, but remember the DMs that guy sent you the other day?
Oh yeah. So he called you insecure,
man. Okay, so like, okay, we said before on like previous podcasts that like if you date. I was gonna say, look, before I used to say if you date a good-looking girl, but the reality is if you date any girl, period, the
potential's there.
Mans are gonna hit on her, like whether or not you're there, like that's gonna happen. So I'm with my girl, and this dude DMs her, right? But he sent her like a
passport photo.
It was like a passport photo. Yes. It was like a passport photo.
Like an application.
And then like a topless photo of himself, and it said "Welcome to Toronto." And like she showed me this, and she was laughing, and I started dying, and like I'm problematic. So what I did was like I recorded it. I'm like, yo, like this is what girls really have to deal with, right? And I posted it to my story. And I tagged the dude, right?
Why did you tag him? I'm sure you died. The man tagged you in his story, in the video of him recording him.
Because I thought it was funny.
And tagged me. Are you fried?
I agree with that.
So here's my thing.
I get it for that.
So here's my thing.
That's why you open his phone like, what the fuck?
So here's the thing. I tagged him, like, I basically put him on blast, right? But I didn't put, like, my mind wasn't like, I'm gonna spend like the next hour like embarrassing this guy. It was literally just like,
Let me embarrass him for a second.
I was just like, I'm gonna tag you because I think it's funny. Like, I think it's hilarious. I post it, I tag it. This dude ends up DMing me, and he basically tries to tell me that like I'm insecure for calling him out, right? And I literally just kept laughing. I thought it was funny. Like, I kept laughing, and I said, bro, like, he's like, you should take it as a compliment when like guys hit on your girl. I'm like, bro, the only reason I'm laughing is because your approach was pretty like whack. Like, it was funny, but it was whack. Like, you sent my girl a passport photo and said, welcome to Toronto. Like, I think that's hilarious. Like, I'm like, how often does this work? Like, I'm genuinely curious to know. And it just kept getting more and more, because I was like, I have three brothers.
You're attacking his pride.
Yeah, I have three brothers. Like, you're not gonna be able to like upset me by like chirping. Like, it doesn't work like that. No. So I'm just like, wow, like, men's are really trying to flip the scripts and say that I'm insecure for this, but it's just like, it's just funny. You put people on blast and they just change up. It's like, why not own it at that point? You know, like,
see, I would never do that. But
well, you wouldn't tag the person, or
I would even record. Like, I've seen guys DM my girls, and like I laugh at it, and I actually
that's the wildest one I've ever seen. Like,
it's definitely wild.
I know sometimes the girls might get fucking dick pics. Like, I know they get wild shit, but I genuinely thought that one was funny.
Yeah, no,
so I was like,
it was funny. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I think maybe because I know I like pretty girls. Like, I generally like pretty girls and try and date girls that I find really attractive. So I don't go into any relationship oblivious to that existing.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't even care. I'm like, I don't check girls' phones. I don't care about any of that stuff. And I think I built a relationship with every girl I've been with that they don't really tell me that anyways. Like, they just deal with it. Yeah. Like, if a guy DM my girlfriend right now, like, she wouldn't be like, hey, this guy DM, you know what I mean? Yeah. She would just deal with it. She would either ignore it or be like, I have a boyfriend. Just, you know, I probably don't know 90% of the messages my girlfriends have gotten in the past. I don't know or care. So had I seen yours, for example, I'd probably be like, whatever, just leave it. You're the type of person who would do it and record it, which is funny. Yeah. And
I've never done it though.
No, I'm not saying you've done. No, you've never done that. But I'm saying, I'm curious of that personality type. I wouldn't say it's an insecurity because I don't think you're insecure. Yeah. But there is some, I don't know what it is, but there is some dynamic of a person, nothing wrong with it, but there's a dynamic of a person that when someone does something like that with such audacity, that it's not the surprise that it happened, but it's kind of like, why are you messaging my girl? Like it's like you weren't mad, but you're, the fuck's gotta do it? You know what I mean?
No, I know what
you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't mad. Jamal wasn't mad.
He wasn't mad, but I think it was also more like, yo, I see you.
Yeah.
Well, no, because like saying,
I don't know what to call it, but like, I get like there's a guy who looks at that and is like, oh, guy DM'd you? True, cool.
No. Okay, I get what Ryan's saying, but to say like, when you say like,
you're not insecure. He was saying you're insecure. I'm like,
when you say like, I see you, that statement kind of says like, it might play into the idea that I'm threatened by this guy. Like, I see you, which means like I know, like I see what you. Yeah. I'm not like, because for years I've been saying this. Like, you have to be comfortable with the idea. No, with the fact that women are gonna get hit on regardless. Like, whether you could be with your girl, like at the bar, and a man will try and hit on her.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. Like, you need to be okay with this. I think genuinely, because that was when I saw that message. Like, she showed it to me when I saw it. She was dying, and I was laughing at it too, because I'm like, wow, this man really sent like a passport photo, right? Like, I thought it was just funny enough to share, and I also tagged him because I'm just like that. Like, this is what I do. Like, because in my mind, it's like, it's at that point, it's hilarious to me that he got mad that I tagged him. That's what he was mad about. Like, he was mad that I tagged him, and I'm like,
but like,
Why are you mad? Why are you mad that I
Because he's
tagged you?
embarrassed, and men don't like to be embarrassed.
Okay, that's what it boils down to. But I'm
No, but that is what it is. That's,
but I'm sorry. Like if
no,
you're
he doesn't have a choice to to not be embarrassed.
Because my thing
Yeah.
is like, if you're then gonna get mad at me, like I said this, regardless if I was dating her or not, I still think your approach was hilarious. Like
he doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah, if it was my
He's
boy,
not trying to hear all that, though.
Yeah, he's not trying to hear that. If it was my boy, I would die. Like I would still laugh because I'd be like, why are you sending a girl a passport for her?
Because now you're attacking how he approaches women.
Yeah.
Now you're attacking his pride. Now you're attacking his
Personality.
personality. Like,
hey man,
anyways,
someone's got to do it. Like,
yeah, I'm not saying anything wrong with it. I'm just
Someone has to
I'm
do
just trying
it.
to I'm just trying to acknowledge that you weren't upset, but you were something.
yeah,
Even though it was funny, like
bro,
even though it was genuinely funny to both you and Jamie, there was something in your brain
yeah.
that occurred when it happened that was like, the fuck?
No, there was something in my brain that was like, this guy's an idiot, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, but you didn't leave it there.
Why do I have to?
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. That I don't know why.
So,
Like,
I don't have like I could do because
I don't have to do anything.
because like literally like I could literally do that for because like the same way someone says like your girl gets hit on, you should take that as a compliment, right? I could have been a weird dude who was like, I'm posting this to show that my girl gets hit on by guys, right? Which means my girl's fine.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Right?
But that wasn't your narrative.
That was my narrative. My narrative was like, this guy's look what this.
No,
this-
I
look at
know,
this dude's approach.
I know
So there
what your
was-
narrative was.
There was nothing in my brain. There was no because there's nothing in my brain because if there's something that means I'm insecure.
I'm saying to even create such a video and tag the person.
Yeah.
There is something that occurred where it's like, I'm gonna do this. Like, whether I'm not saying you.
No, but Ryan, that says that I'm insecure.
No, I'm insecure means you're not confident in yourself and you're not
Yeah.
confident in what you have and you're not confident in your ability to do something.
Yeah.
That is insecurity. It's not insecurity because you weren't doing that because.
So then, what are you
because
trying to make this? Then, is what I'm asking.
No, I think where Ryan's going, and this is my thought. And I'm gonna actually, as he's saying this, I'm flipping a little bit. Ask this question. So when people they get DMs,
Yeah.
and they post it on their Twitter account or their
Yeah.
Instagram, like, hey, look what this guy sent me, or look at this
Yeah.
conversation. Like I see there are a lot of Instagram models. Hey, I can't believe I had this conversation. I can't believe they have some sort of commentary about that. How do you feel about those comments? Or those types of posts? Because in a way, you're doing the same thing.
I think when girls do that, because girls that are doing that, who's posting their DMs, I think they're doing it to get attention.
Okay.
If a girl's screenshotting her DMs, and depending on what they're saying, they either do it to get attention or they're doing it to just shit on the dude.
But what about when a guy does it? Because
I've never seen guys like I've literally never seen guys like post DMs that his girl is getting.
So I'll give you a different type of DM, which is the same context. It's just a different that has nothing to do with a relationship. So some vegetarian, some Raptors basketball player posted this. He thought it was interesting that it got 10,000 comments. So this girl posted something saying she's a vegan.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I was walking down the street and I saw this kid with her friends at an ice cream truck, and she didn't have money to buy ice cream. So I bought her ice cream to make her happy.
Yeah.
Which, sidebar, that's a whole other show. You shouldn't be buying kids
Ice cream.
ice cream. Because who knows, right?
Yeah.
But then this guy commented and then took the conversation, posted. He said, hey, just wondering, was it vegan ice cream? Because you got to support the vegan culture. Essentially, that's what he was. And she was like, hey, fam, relax. I was just trying to make a kid happy.
Yeah.
No, relax on this whole vegan thing.
Yeah.
And then he said something else. And then he posted this conversation and the perspective. He was like, hey, you know what? I just had this ridiculous conversation with this so-called vegan who was giving non-vegan ice cream to a stranger kid.
Right.
And then 10,000 comments later, everyone's like, yeah, you need to relax. It's crazy. Like, it's just all. So that's an example of a guy putting somebody on blast.
Yeah.
Because he felt a way. So technically, you put this guy on blast for your reasons, but you put him on blast because you felt a way.
Whatever that way is.
That's, I think, what Brian's trying to figure out.
Is insecurity.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're insecure, but whatever that...
But the problem with the term felt away is always rooted in like some negative...
Because the slang of the term
but that's the thing.
There's never a time where like felt away is a good thing.
Use the vegan example. I think the girl...
But he's saying in the context of how you say something, just the lingo of how we speak, saying someone felt away means they have... Like it affected them.
Yeah, like...
In a negative sense.
When, like...
That he couldn't deal. Like, man's felt away.
Okay,
like
yeah, like, I would...
Yeah.
Basically what you're saying is, like, I saw this, I posted it, and at some point when I posted it, I was just like... There was something in my brain where it's like it could have been like a little bit of anger. It could have been like it could have been anything. Right?
I don't think it's anger from what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is like literally when I saw it, I was like I posted it because I'm like, this is really what girls have to go through.
So
that's it. Like that's really that's really all.
I don't want to. Okay, I don't want.
So you could have been annoyed.
No, I wasn't. No, but I was. No, but I just told you I wasn't annoyed. Like I posted it because I literally said when my girl showed it to me, I was like, wow, this is really what girls have to go through.
But I think what I'm saying when you're annoyed, you weren't annoyed that this guy was sending it to your girl.
Yeah.
I think you were annoyed with the fact that this happens in general. Like, this is what girls have to go through, not just my girl.
Literally, that's actually what I wrote. I literally wrote, I'm like, wow, this is really what girls have to go through.
Does that bother you?
No. Like,
it bothers me.
It has to bother you.
No, why does it have to bother me?
The fact that girls go through that has to bother you, or else you're not posting that. That has to bother you. It can't not bother you, and you post that.
I would say
because there are plenty of things. Sorry, there are plenty of things that I've like retweeted or posted that don't necessarily bother me.
But retweeting is so much easier of a task than to record and tag and do something. That's a very deliberate. Like I'm not getting at you. I'll clear that from now. I'm not getting at you.
I know that. No, Ryan, I know that. But to say something bother means that I wonder about, like, this is something that concerns me. Like, I think about it. Like, this is taking up my time. Like, it's a statement. That's literally what it is because it's a fact. Like, we all know this.
Yes.
That this is what women go through. So for me to post it doesn't mean that, like, it bothers me. I posted it because I thought it was funny. Like that's literally what it is. Like I posted it because I thought it was funny. Like there's nothing. I think we're trying to like read more into it. Like I saw it, I thought it was hilarious, and I posted it.
I'm putting myself in your shoes because actually I would have probably done the same thing. And the way I would have felt was not necessarily that this guy was sending messages to my girl.
Yeah,
I think
I didn't give a fuck about that. Like that happened.
My feeling is that if I put myself in your shoes in that situation, and what I'm thinking about is that, wow, that's how people are interacting in this day and age.
Yeah.
They're not doing it in a smart way. They're not doing it in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like you said, girls are going to get hit on, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have somebody hit on my girlfriend in a clever way than to some weirdo, like messed up, geeky, dorky way, because it just makes it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
it feels funny.
They're gonna get hit on like every which way possible, right? I just generally like I've even with shit I've seen online, like I've never seen a man send a passport photo to a girl, like so that's why I thought it was funny. I'm like, I'm gonna post it, and I didn't like. I genuinely did not care when I tagged him. Like when I just did it. Like I didn't even think about it, because then. To other people's perspective, they're like, why would you tag him? Like, why would you do that? And I'm like, well,
Ryan has a thought.
What's the like, why not? Like, why not?
Okay, I don't want to delve too much into this any further, but there is no. Okay.
I'm supposed to not tag this dude.
No one's saying that. No one's saying
that. But by tagging him, it then says something about maybe where my mind was at. Because what if I posted that same video without tagging him?
I think that's a step further than we should be. I think that's where Ryan might be going. It's not about the tagging. It's not about the recording. or sorry, it's not really about the tag in itself,
Yeah.
but like the little task. Let's call them the task.
Yeah.
It's about the initial behavior, the reaction. Like, it's about. It's
Like we're like okay, all three of us are very educated and cognitive people in here. So
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying this is because we can all of us, I can from our discussion, we're all very intelligent black men.
Yeah.
I will say that very publicly because there are intelligent black men out there.
Yeah.
And we're in this. All three of us are in one building right now. So this is a blessing. But the reason I say this is because. No, I'm not attacking you. I have to make that clear because sometimes people get attacked and they feel like they're being attacked, so they get defensive. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
2, I'm not saying you're insecure. You did something because you're insecure because you feel a certain way, so that's why you did something.
Yeah.
3, I'm not saying you're looking for attention or trying to get attention or try to do something to get some type of reaction out of him.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I can only compare this to myself because we are two different people. The reason this podcast works is because you and I are two different people.
Yeah.
I'm one way, you're another way. I'm black and white, you're more gray in certain areas and vice versa. But I, speaking for myself, if I saw that, if that exact scenario occurred to my girlfriend, same guy sends the password photo, all that kind of stuff, I look at that, I'm like, this guy's whack. Cool.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna happen. I know it might be a password photo. I know it might be a dick pic. I know it might just be flirting. I know it might be comments. They're all combined into one. I don't care how ridiculous it is or how simple it is.
Okay.
Right?
See,
it's just my girlfriend's getting hit on is just the fact.
See, that's
how doesn't matter.
That's the funny thing. See, that's where the difference lies because I am the exact same way as that, but what I saw was genuinely the funniest thing that I've seen out of my girls being hit on.
Which is the same thing.
Which is why I posted it.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying I don't find things funny.
Yeah.
But there are tasks that need to happen once I find something funny. It's like, I found something funny. Okay, this is funny. Now what do I do with this emotion or emotional response of humor? You took it as, I'm going to record this video, then I'm good. Like, I'm just breaking it down into what it really is. I'm record this video, I'm going to laugh at it, I'm going to talk over it, and tag the person who sent that person, which means he will see this because he's tagged.
Yeah.
So it's gonna pop up on his phone, which you're aware of.
Yeah.
He's gonna see it. Other people are gonna click on that picture or click on that tag to go check who this fucking weirdo is, which means traffic's gonna go to his page. All things you're aware of, even though you're gonna act like you're not thinking about it, you're aware of them. They're happening really quickly. You know, if I tag this guy, people are gonna go see and laugh at him. Blah blah blah. He's gonna see and probably message me maybe if he has the balls to, which he did. And then we'll have a discussion at some point because I'm ready for that if he does message me. You have to be ready for him to message you if you tag him. These are all things you have to be. I tag the human. He's going to message me probably. And if he does, I have to be ready for that.
And I just laugh like every time though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying these are all cognitive decisions that you were aware of and did and thought about. You either consciously or subconsciously thought about at a very quick time. Like you're a tech guy. These all happen. These are all fucking funnel situations that you basically thought of in like 3 seconds and did this.
I'm curious.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
It's funny how you describe it. I'm drawing and painting an analogy in my head.
Yeah.
Is that how you box?
Well, the way I box is like it's just very. I guess if you break it down, it's like you don't have time to think like in boxing. Like you don't you put like this. Everything that you should be doing when you're actually in the middle of a match, you cannot afford to think about. If you're thinking in a boxing match, you're gonna lose. Everything should be second nature based off of everything you were training for. Like you train scenarios so that when you put like this, let's say you have like a 12-round fight, and in the 6th round, your coach says, "I need you to do this, throw 3 punches, slip and then throw a hook," but you never practice that, it's not gonna work because you don't have time to think in the middle of a it's like a coach telling you in basketball to run a play in the middle of a game that you guys have never ran before in practice. Right. You're gonna have mans out there.
You're not gonna run it.
You're not gonna run it. You're gonna have mans out there thinking about the play when all plays as soon as someone hears the name of the play, it should your body should move before you even have to think about it. Yeah. Right. So in this situation, when the way Ryan broke it down is exactly what happened, but it happened so quickly that I didn't even it literally was all one motion. I didn't care if he was gonna message me back. It's not even like I thought of that before I posted it. Even though I tagged him in it, I was like, I don't care. Like, it was literally like a shrug. I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna put energy into this. Like,
but you put energy out.
No, energy into this means that, like, if he messages me, I'm gonna spend time arguing with him. Like, why are you messaging my girl? Like, you expect me to, like, see this dumb shit and blah 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 blah? Like,
but you have to, the bare minimum. You have to know that you put energy out, it's gonna come back.
The funny thing is, though, the amount of energy that I put in to posting this was probably like the least amount of, like, it was on the lesser amount of energy that I put into most things.
No, not in quantity. I mean, you have to be aware that I just put energy out there.
That's fine.
It's gonna bounce back. You have to be aware of that. It's gonna bounce back.
And like, that's my thing. Like, that's my thing though. Like, my mentality was, and like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I put it out there. Like, what's gonna happen?
Well, here's the real question.
Yeah.
What happens if he shows up to your wedding?
Shows to my wedding? I'd be like, do you have a passport photo? Like, do you have a passport photo? That's what I ask.
So at the end of every show, that was a good time. At the end of every show, we as you know, when we have guests, we let them ask us a couple questions. One question for both of us, or question each, whatever.
Yeah.
Just to, give people a different perspective. That sometimes there's questions we don't get asked from other people. Sometimes people, through talking or having a whole episode with us, they've had a question in their mind they want to ask me, because we fucking dive into so many different things. You might have a chance to get to it. But is there any question that you want to ask myself? You know him personally. You don't know me. Or ask him or both of us, whatever. This would be the time.
It's funny. This actually was a question I was going to ask you off the mic, but I ask you on mic.
Sure.
Again, because Zamora knows how passionate I'm about people, especially creative people, and what they do.
Yeah.
What's the next step? What's the next level for you guys?
For both of us?
The podcast.
For the podcast?
Yeah.
Well, when we started the podcast, when I came up with the idea of the podcast, I wanted to have a guest, and I actually wanted someone exactly like Zamora, like, in theory. Just, I didn't want someone like me, because the podcast would be too linear, and we both think the same, and just be like, oh yeah, me too, I agree, yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then no one listens.
Right.
Who wants that?
So, luckily Zamora hit me up, and it was a perfect fit right out the bat, and we've been doing this. We did our first live show, which was great. We have a second live show coming up in this month. Yep. I feel like live shows will be something will kind of tie into our brand, in terms of, like, it won't be like it's a live show. It'd be like, oh yeah, they do live shows.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right now it's kind of just like, we do a podcast. Oh, here's a live show out of the blue. Kind of. I think I want to condition, like the word we're using, people into being like, oh, they do live shows. Like, once every 2 months or whatever, there's going to be a live show. I'll listen. I'm at that live show every 2 months. Like, I'll be there, So, and it won't necessarily even be a live show anymore. I feel like it'll just be like, this is where we connect. You listen to us around the world, wherever you are, and if you're local, or when we travel, you come check us. And it's not a show anymore. It's more like a, I don't even know how to call it, like just chilling. Like, it's just a vibe. Like, every couple months we can chill with these guys. You know what I mean? Rather than like, it's the show, like a live show. I don't want it to be all so distant, And even though we're very, like, close with our fans, like, it still kind of feels like this is us and that's them. We're going to the live show. I still want it to be like, we chill with these guys every couple of months. Like, we bring friends, and it just grows, like, organically like that. Yeah. Also, both of us are avid fans of Jesus and Mero. Yes. They have their own show, right? Yep. I would love to have my own show. And I think it'd be really, really cool and really, really different. Even our whole podcast right now, as it is very, very different. It's two black people talking about their emotions and feelings, which doesn't really exist, to be honest.
Right.
It doesn't. Like, in terms of, especially as black, like, most black men are very, to themselves, are very private. And if they do talk about their feelings, it's really only to the girl. Yeah. They rarely talk about their feelings to their man. Like, there's a few men that are like, yo, man, like, this girl broke my heart, dog. Like, rarely guys are talking about that, like, openly, like, this girl fucked me over and broke my heart, dog. Like,
yeah, they call it the tough guys. this guys,
but
this
black
guys.
men. I'm saying black men specifically are that way,
That's
and
a
we have been
specific thing,
conditioned that way to like not show fear, not show pain, not show all that stuff. Like from most Caribbean families, if you have a father in the home, or even if you don't, just what you see, the guys just can't show these things, and if you do, hold it and deal with it. That's just what we've been told. So I feel like we've been trying to, not trying. I feel like we kind of have already done it. We've broken that norm for at least people in our circle and people that listen to our podcast. That's not it's not mandatory anymore.
I know we did though, because when we went to that Black History thing at UTM, like there was high school kids in the GTA, and it was just like one dude. Remember, one dude came up to us and he was like, "Oh, I listened to your podcast. Like, I have all these questions about like getting into photography and video stuff." And this was a high school kid, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, high school kids listen to our stuff? Like, that's kind of crazy. So, I mean, I know we're already making some changes there. But I mean, yeah, long term, I would love to have a fucking like a show. That'd be crazy. If we somehow had a show like about what was going on, because everything, like we talk about everything. We'll talk about pop culture stuff, wherever it relates, but everything somehow ties back into relationships.
There's only two types of people in the world: a man or a woman, and we have to interact every day.
Yeah,
like a relationship talk podcast is what it is. And what I started as an idea of a relationship, like I'm in relationships, I date a lot of girls, I talk to a lot of girls, whatever. But it's not always sexual, it's not always romantic. It's just I deal with women, like we deal with women, just whether I like them or not, we have to deal with women, and vice versa, they have to deal with guys. So what we talk about is not always about sex and love, and what sometimes it's just about how are we different? How are our norms different? How are our mentalities and conditions and just society has structured us a certain way that, aside from whether I like you or not, there's just certain things women don't even do because they don't feel they have to. Yeah. As a woman, like it has nothing to do with even whether you like me or not. Just like, I'm not doing that. I'm a woman. I'm not doing that. And there's certain things that guys are like, I'm never doing that. I'm a guy. Yeah. And I think that's how I kind of want to branch. We need to talk into where it's more of a, I don't want it to be broad because we still are kind of specific. But I don't want people to, like, I think even right now, our listeners, I don't know because I haven't talked to all of them, but I feel like a large portion of our listeners right now probably think all we talk about, or mostly what we talk about, is actual relationships, like girlfriend and boyfriend, husband and wife, whatever, like, but it's not. I think my goal for the second half of this year is to kind of become more inclusive to people who are single. Because I know single people listen to our podcast for sure, because whether for advice or just, hear what we're talking about, or maybe the vent or whatever. But I want it not just single people that are looking for a relationship, but just single people who just need help interacting with people. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who are introverted, don't know how to just speak to people. It has nothing to do with liking them or not. It's literally just like, I don't know how to communicate with people, And I feel like we need to talk. It was phrased, and the idea was, the concept came behind my idea of like, when we hear we need to talk, you assume it's a fight, or it's usually in a relationship where it's like, oh fuck, like what? But I want to kind of expand it into like, we need to talk just like the literal sense. We need to talk about things. We need to be more inclusive, more vocal about things in general and interaction with other people. So I think that's the next step for us, where we broaden the horizon and broaden our audience into things beyond relationships as romantic, and more relationships as interpersonal with just people in general in society.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No, I guess for me that was my big question, because you guys have been doing it for a long time now. Like, well over a year.
Since January last year.
Yeah. So keep it up. Yeah. Because longevity, as you know, from a creative entrepreneurial point of view, longevity is something that does not happen for everybody. Yeah. In fact, it doesn't happen. Some people just don't have the competencies. Yeah. My favorite word. Yeah. To actually
see it
through, or let longevity be something, or make something out of it. So regardless of your ups and downs, longevity is always the biggest up, regardless how hard. And so that's
You're right about
I
that.
hate to sound like the old black man because Zamora knows that's my ultimate goal in life. To become the ultimate old black man. Quick.
Yeah.
Just keep on doing what you're doing, son.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, man. Let people know where they can like find your work or how to contact you.
Yeah, so I'm a very visual person, so if you want to see what I do regularly, you can check me on Instagram at Mr. Marcus Brown.
Yeah.
So that's Mr. Brown, one word.
Yeah.
You can see everything I do pretty much on my website. So www.marcus247.com. Or if you actually want to see what the studio that I'm building and what I've done so far and what's going to become, you go to cablezerostudio.com.
Cool. Dope.
Sick.
We'll wrap it up.
This was good.
It's a good one.
Actually, I really like this a lot.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah,
No,
man.
it was great, man. It was great. I feel like and this is me being honest with you guys. Since starting this podcast, I never foresaw myself, first of all, getting to a point where I'm at right now where it's like I'm so busy doing my own personal stuff that the things I want to do I don't even have time for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I never knew what that even looked like. Like I like it, but I never envisioned it or planned for it. I'm a very like deliberate and tactical person, and I do things a certain way. So when things get thrown in that I didn't really plan for,
Yeah.
I adjust. But it's like, whoa, like, what do you mean we didn't record a podcast again and again and again? Something that I said, oh, we do this every week for sure. Like, and I foresaw that as no matter what I'm doing, like, we'll definitely do this every week because it has to get done. And I was very adamant of that. Even times like where Zamora's like, oh, I can't. Like, he'd be like, oh, sorry, man, I can't. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, it's all good. Like, but it would bother me that even like shit happens, but like it would bother me because I'm like, it was in my mind, it was like it was my brainchild. So I'm like, fuck, we mean you can't do this podcast, you know what I mean? But now it's become our thing, and now both of us are fucking busy like a lot. Where it's like we both are like, there's times where I'm not even in town anymore. Sometimes he's like, yo, like it's not even, it's not Zamora's fault. It's like I'm not even here, so it's Ryan's fault or no one's fault. But like, it's not. I can't be like, oh, Zamora couldn't record it. No, it's me. I'm not physically here either. Like we're both super busy, and I think from what I've witnessed, I observe, like I run most of the podcast page, and I just kind of see what they're doing, and just observing people's behavior. I feel like people have started to understand that. And because both people follow both of our personal pages, I feel like if they didn't, there'd be more flack on us.
Yeah.
But I feel like because a lot of our followers, like us individually, they follow our personal pages, so it's not like there's just no podcast. It's like Zamora's posting, I'm doing stuff, he's doing. So there's no podcast. They're consciously making that connection. They're like, well, I just saw Ryan's in Paris.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna do a podcast. Like, it's not like, where's the podcast? Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not getting that. Where's the podcast, guys? Like some other podcasts might have that don't do shit, to be honest. Right. Like they just the people that are hosting the podcast don't do shit. Like the podcast, they're just lazy. We're not missing podcasts because we're lazy. And they know. I feel like they know that. Or Zamora's in Vancouver. Like there's no podcast because he's in Vancouver and you see him there. Right. So you make that assumption there's not going to be a podcast this week, so you don't ask. And I thank our fans for that they really allowed us to kind of have that flexibility. And I feel like that's, in a way, going to help us to help our longevity in the long run because we have fans that understand our personal lives.
You guys have a community.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Really. Like,
but you guys have it.
You know what I mean?
We definitely do.
Like, it's not something I'm taking for granted because, like, there are podcasts that fall off because if people don't hear it for 2 weeks, it's like, oh, this is bullshit, you know? But there's people that, like, I think there's a time we were gone for 3 weeks without a podcast, maybe a month even without a podcast. A month? Mm-hmm. Something like we were doing it every single week for, like, a year straight. Yeah. Literally every week. So 52 weeks, like, in it for a year straight. Then we go a month without a podcast? Yeah. Like, that's bad in terms of consistency, but they understand because I feel like they've grown with us, and they know it's like, well, they're not just not making a podcast, right. You know. So thank you guys for understanding and appreciating that because I feel like that reduces a lot of the pressure on us like we still try and make it happen. We both still try like, are you available today? You available today? Like we try and go around each other's schedules, but I think it relieves a lot of the pressure of like, are they still gonna like us? Like these are things people think about. No, like for real. Like people that are trying to build or grow something. Like if people miss some things, like are people still gonna listen? Are people still gonna like us? Are they mad? Like will they listen? Will they come to our next podcast? Will they come to our next live show? Like things that people worry about that I don't really think we have to worry about, because I feel like we have a different connection with our fans, our supporters. I say I don't really like the word fans, but you know. Yeah. So I just want to let you guys know I'm aware of that. I'm aware that we're missing episodes. It's not like we're just. I don't want to be silent. I hate being silent about things like that. I hate people just don't say anything. Just like, oh, we missed a month. Like, so we're back now. Nothing, you know. Like, I feel like being transparent makes
it's working for us.
Yeah, it works for us. So, thank you guys for doing that and still coming through. We gave you guys a 2-hour episode this week. The last episode has been kind of short. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Great guests, Marcus. Yeah, I'm good. Episode number 48.
Yeah.
When was that? 50 episodes. We should do something special for 50. I don't know what. We have to.
We'll think of something. I think that's gonna be like right before the live show.
Right before the live show, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you, guys. If you guys haven't bought a ticket yet, go to our page, go to Eventbrite, buy your ticket. June 29th. Same location. If you've been there for the first one, the same location at 360 Geary Avenue. If you have not been, bring a friend, buy a ticket. June 29th. Our next live show, which is called What Had Happened Was. Yeah. So hope to see you guys there. Till next week, I'm host Mr. KOA alongside
Top Boy
as we talk podcast.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.